You're sitting in a quiet room with me, surrounded by the comforting familiarity of a cozy atmosphere. But have you ever stopped to consider the subtle forces that shape your thoughts and actions? You're being controlled right now, and the most unsettling part is you're not even aware of it. The question is, what are the darkest psychology manipulation techniques being used on you without your knowledge or consent? As we delve into the world of covert manipulation, it's essential to understand the definition of this phenomenon. Covert manipulation refers to the use of subtle, often unconscious, tactics to influence an individual's behavior or decision-making process. But this isn't just a concept relegated to the realm of conspiracy theories or espionage. Therefore, it's crucial to recognize that manipulation is an integral part of our everyday lives. Think about the last time you felt an intense emotional response to an advertisement. That was manipulation at work. For instance, have you ever walked into a store and been greeted by the enticing aroma of freshly baked goods, only to find yourself purchasing more than you intended? That's manipulation. Or, consider the strategic placement of products at eye level on store shelves, designed to capture your attention and increase the likelihood of a purchase. But what's more alarming is the fact that these tactics are often employed without our knowledge or consent. You are the battleground, and your mind is the war zone. As the philosopher Jean Baudrillard once said, the simulacrum is never that which conceals the truth, it is the truth which conceals that there is none. In this context, the truth is that we're constantly being manipulated, and it's up to us to become aware of these tactics in order to protect ourselves. But becoming aware of these manipulation techniques requires a willingness to question our surroundings and the information we're presented with. Therefore, it's essential to cultivate a critical thinking mindset, one that allows us to decipher the subtle cues and hidden messages that permeate our daily lives. By doing so, we can begin to reclaim control over our thoughts and actions, and become the masters of our own destiny. As we strive to reclaim control over our thoughts and actions, it's essential to understand the foundation of manipulation techniques that have been used to influence us. But, therefore, we must delve into the world of psychological manipulation, where subtle cues and hidden messages are used to shape our decisions. Remember the last time you bought something on impulse? That was likely the result of clever manipulation. The most effective manipulations are those that exploit our deepest desires and fears. As the ancient Greek philosopher, Plato, once said, all knowledge is recollection, implying that our memories and emotions play a significant role in shaping our thoughts and actions. The role of emotional exploitation cannot be overstated, as it is often used to create a false sense of urgency or scarcity, prompting us to make decisions without fully thinking them through. Consider a thought experiment where you're walking through a store, and you're suddenly bombarded with advertisements and promotions. How do you feel? Do you feel a sense of excitement or a sense of overwhelm? This is precisely the moment when manipulation techniques are at play, exploiting our emotional vulnerabilities to influence our purchasing decisions. The techniques used in various contexts, such as marketing, politics, or social media, all rely on the same fundamental principles of psychological manipulation. The historical event of the Nazi propaganda machine during World War II is a chilling example of how manipulation techniques can be used to shape public opinion and influence behavior on a massive scale. The Nazi regime used emotional exploitation to create a sense of fear and urgency, prompting people to conform to their ideology. But, therefore, it's crucial to recognize these techniques and develop a critical thinking mindset to protect ourselves from such manipulations. By understanding the foundation of manipulation techniques, we can begin to break free from their influence and reclaim control over our lives. As we strive to break free from the influence of manipulation, it's essential to acknowledge the profound impact of social norms on our behavior. But, therefore, it's crucial to recognize how easily we can be swayed by the opinions and actions of those around us. Consider the last time you conformed to a group opinion without fully agreeing with it. That's the power of social influence. This phenomenon is not new, as philosophers like Aristotle have long noted the human tendency to follow the crowd. In his work, Rhetoric, Aristotle discusses the importance of understanding the audience and the role of social norms in shaping our decisions. But, therefore, it's alarming to see how influencers and groups can manipulate our perceptions, often without us even realizing it. The line between influence and manipulation is thin, and often crossed without our awareness. A thought experiment can help illustrate this point. Imagine being part of a group where everyone believes a certain myth or legend. As you listen to the story, you start to doubt your own initial skepticism, and eventually, you find yourself believing the myth as well. This is the danger of groupthink, a concept first introduced by psychologist Irving Janis. But, therefore, it's crucial to be aware of the potential consequences of groupthink, such as the suppression of critical thinking and the perpetuation of misinformation. As we've seen, groupthink can lead to the suppression of critical thinking and the perpetuation of misinformation. But, therefore, it's essential to understand the psychological tactics used to manipulate individuals and groups. These tactics are often subtle, yet powerful, and can be used to influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Think about the last time someone used guilt to influence your decision. That's a classic manipulation tactic. The most dangerous manipulations are those that masquerade as concern or care. This is a tactic used by manipulators to gain our trust and create a false sense of security. As the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, bad faith is a form of self-deception where we deny our own freedom and responsibility. But, therefore, it's crucial to recognize these tactics and develop self-awareness to protect ourselves from manipulation. Let's consider a thought experiment. Imagine you're at a store, and a salesperson is trying to convince you to buy a product. They use high-pressure sales tactics, creating a sense of urgency and scarcity. You start to feel anxious and unsure, and before you know it, you've made a purchase you might regret. This is an example of psychological manipulation, where the salesperson is using tactics to influence your decision-making process. But, therefore, it's essential to be aware of these tactics and develop strategies to resist them. As the psychologist B.F. Skinner once said, behavior is controlled by its consequences. By understanding the consequences of our actions and the tactics used to manipulate us, we can take back control and make informed decisions. The importance of self-awareness cannot be overstated, as it allows us to recognize the manipulation tactics and make choices that align with our values and goals. As we delve deeper into the realm of control and manipulation, we find ourselves at the intersection of technology and influence. The role of technology in facilitating manipulation cannot be overstated, as it provides an unprecedented level of access to personal data and behavior patterns. This has led to the development of sophisticated algorithms that can predict and influence our decisions with eerie accuracy. Consider the last time you received a targeted advertisement that felt eerily personal. That's the power of data-driven manipulation. Companies are using our data to create detailed profiles, which are then used to craft personalized messages that resonate with our deepest desires and fears. This raises important questions about the ethics of these practices and whether we are truly aware of the extent to which our data is being used to manipulate us. In the digital age, our privacy is not just a right, but a luxury we can no longer afford. As the philosopher Jean Baudrillard once said, the simulacrum is never that which conceals the truth, but the truth which conceals that there is none. This concept is particularly relevant in today's digital landscape, where our online personas are often carefully curated to conceal our true selves. To further illustrate this point, let's consider a thought experiment. Imagine a world where all of our online activity is completely transparent and our data is used to create a fully accurate representation of our thoughts and desires. While this may seem like a utopian ideal, it also raises important questions about the nature of free will and autonomy. If our data is being used to predict and influence our decisions, do we truly have control over our own lives? The implications of this are profound and challenge our understanding of what it means to be human in the digital age. Deep territory, the future of manipulation and control. As we delve deeper into the world of data-driven manipulation, it becomes increasingly clear that the future of humanity is at stake. Predictions for future manipulation techniques are ominous, with the potential for even more sophisticated methods of psychological influence. For instance, advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning could enable the creation of highly personalized propaganda, tailored to an individual's specific vulnerabilities and biases. This could lead to a world where people are unknowingly manipulated into making decisions that serve the interests of those in power, rather than their own. The potential consequences of unchecked manipulation are dire, with the possibility of entire populations being swayed by false information and propaganda. This raises important questions about the role of social media and technology in shaping our perceptions of reality. As the philosopher Jean Baudrillard once said, the simulation is more important than the reality, highlighting the ways in which our understanding of the world can be distorted by the information we consume. The importance of vigilance and awareness in protecting individual freedom cannot be overstated, as we must be mindful of the ways in which our thoughts and actions are being influenced by external forces. Imagine a world where your thoughts are not your own. That's the future we're heading towards if we don't act now. The future of humanity is not just about technological advancement, but about the preservation of our free will. As we move forward, it's essential that we prioritize the development of critical thinking skills and media literacy, enabling individuals to distinguish between fact and fiction, and make informed decisions about the information they consume. By doing so, we can mitigate the effects of manipulation and ensure that our thoughts and actions remain our own. But this raises a question that takes us to the very heart of what it means to be human. What happens when the lines between reality and manipulation are completely blurred? That's a journey for another time. But this raises something I wasn't prepared for, a rabbit hole that leads to the darkest corners of human psychology and the true nature of reality. That's what comes next.